Welcome back. This week we're going to go with a classic pattern. This is a great overall imitation for, caddis, a stone. Maybe if you stretch it far enough, a scud. Probably not, just with the color differential that's out there between a scud and what we're actually tying this in. But we're going to tie a Zug Bug today. This is a great, probably caddis stonefly type. You can tie it in a bunch of different sizes. I'm going to do this in a size 10 today. This will be more so along the lines of maybe an Easter, a smaller stonefly. You can do them on a streamer hook if you want to, but we're going to go with just a size 10 Zug Bug. Starting off as just 8/0 brown thread on a size 10 1550 Daiichi. And I got a little carried away on that one. Pulled a little bit too much on that thread. It's alright. Overall, I'm struggling today here to get a half decent fly put together, so why not continue? So to start on this one, all I'm going to do is take 3 Peacock Herls and I'm going to lay this out for my tail. I'm going to do just shy of the overall length of the hook, and then I'm just going to bust this off part way back. That way I'm not working with the entire stem right there. And I'm just going to tie this in, working my way to the barb of the hook. And there you can see we have our 3 tails sitting right there. If you want to, you can take your thumb right there and just kind of shorten these up if you're a little bit on the long side. It's really not going to matter too much. Like I said, just shy of the overall length of the hook is about what I typically shoot for. And then I'm going to just take this, cover up my excess that I have right here. This will help with my taper. And then just work this to the front. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room on the front of this right here. You can see I probably have 1/8 of an inch. That'll be for the legs and for the overwing on this one. Before I move forward on this, you'll see a lot of them tied with like the flat the flat tinsel. I don't really like that stuff too much. I don't like the way that it looks. It's just too much gold for me. So what I'm going to do is just tie in. This is what I typically do when I tie these patterns or similar. Is I'm just going to go with the straight small gold wire. I'm going to tie that in on my side and then work my way up to the front. With the 3 that I used before, I'm going to trim this and tie this in just behind where I left off with my brown thread. And I'm just going to wrap this all the way up to my tail. One wrap right in front of the next, nice and easy. Work this to the tail. If you get a little bit of a gap in one of these, don't worry about it too much, because we're going to wind up going back over top of this. And then as I go forward, I kind of space these out just slightly. Not really worried too much about one on top of the other. And then there we have that portion of our fly. Go ahead and trim this up. And now, because this Peacock Herl is so brittle, you want to counter wrap it with something. Like I said, I don't really care too much for the flat tinsel. I think it's too much gold for me, and I don't know. So I just go with the gold wire, and then I just counter wrap this, spacing this nice and even throughout, all the way up to the front. That last one's going to get covered up, so I really don't care where the spacing's at on it. Yep. Had it slide forward on me just slightly. So I'm going to back this off. There we go. Maintain the tension on there. That's probably why that one got away from me a little bit. Like I said, I'm struggling today. I'm having a tough day at the bench. Tough day at the bench today. I put together a couple flies earlier, and man, I just wasn't happy with the overall look of them. Wasn't happy. It wasn't for video or anything. I was just putting a couple together for a trip this weekend, and man, they just did not look right for some reason. Having an off day. Alright, next up on this is I'm just going to take some, this is just regular Partridge hackle. You'll see folks tie these in 100 different ways. It doesn't really matter. Whichever way you get comfortable with tying them, it's up to you. You can tie them in with the stem, you can tie them in from the front here. Some folks you'll see, they strip them down and tie them, you know, just with one side. I never really liked doing that too much. I tried it a few times. I was never too crazy about how it looked, so I got away from that, and I just tie them in from the front. I grab my hackle pliers, if I can find them here, and then I don't go too crazy on these wraps. Probably, if it's a soft hackle, 1.5. If you watch the March Brown soft hackle, 1.5 wraps, that's all I make. For the Zug Bug, for something that, you know, this is just imitating legs, I might go as far as 2 wraps on this, but I stay away from getting into the really long fibers. So we'll probably just go with 2 wraps. Like you can see right there, I'm staying away from those longer fibers that are still on the stem. I don't want to use those. They get a little bit too carried away and winds up making the fly just, the legs wind up overtaking the fly, in my opinion, so I stay away from those. Keep them on the stem. If you want, you can save those. Those make good tails for, you know, like your stonefly patterns that I did a while back. You can see there's that little tail. That works out great for, where's it at here? For this stonefly right here, that works out great for the tail right there if you want to substitute. If you want to save them, if not, I mean, I don't worry too much about saving them. I just toss them. But if you want to, it's an option. So now, with these top fibers, I'm going to have a wing case going in right there. So all I'm going to do is take and trim this. That way I have a spot for my wing case. And then anything that's really sticking up too awful much, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. I'm going to wait to cut those because I'm afraid I'm going to get my thread. There we go. So now the last piece on this is going to be your wing case. I bet you I haven't tied one of these flies in close to 20 years. I used to tie a pile of them and fish it. I used to fish the hell out of these things. Okay, so all we're doing now is we're just taking regular mallard flank. This is dyed wood duck. And then we're going to peel some of this back. Peel these fibers, get them out of your way. So there, you're going to have a nice clean stem. And all I'm going to do now is stand these up and make one clean cut right across my mallard flank. There we go. It flew away on me, but this is going to be your wing case, your overwing, whatever it may be. I'm just going to lay this in, And I want it going back, oh, probably a little bit past the 1/3 point. And I'm just going to tie this in. Nice, smooth, secure wraps at first. Nothing real tight. And then work that on. Once I know that it's not going anywhere on me, I'm going to make my wraps a little bit tighter. And I want them to slide slightly. Take a look over top of this, make sure that your stem's going right down the center of your fly. Spin that just slightly. And then go ahead and finish this up with some nice clean thread wraps. And then we'll go ahead and whip finish, and that's basically your Zug Bug. Now what I like to do on these, because I don't like the nice clean sharp angles on this, what I'll do, get out of there. What I'll do is I'll just take this and let me see here if I can angle this correctly and still angle this to where you guys can see it and not cut too much of it off. Is I'm just going to take these angles and I'm going to clean them up just a little bit. Just going to round them off slightly. That way I still have the overall shape that I'm after. I still have the overwing and everything, but I don't have those real sharp angles. You can leave them on there, in all honesty. I mean, as soon as it gets wet, it's it's not going to make one bit of difference, but I just like the way that that looks a little bit better. That's something that I did as a kid, and you know, obviously continue to do that. But there is, that thing's not staying as straight as I would like it. Oh well, as soon as it gets in the water, it's not going to make a bit of difference. But there you have it. There is the classic Zug Bug. If you guys have any questions or comments on this one, as always, leave them with me and I'll get back to you. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.